What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm Nathan Marzian, joined by Brandon Eckel. We got Packers week 2 to get to and other NFL stuff to get to. So we got plenty to talk about. It's very exciting week 2 in the NFL. I don't know how
Mhm.
much of it. How much of it did you watch?
I've been watching quite a bit. I mean, I don't have NFL ticket or anything, but
I
you
got
know,
red zone.
do you? Yeah, I need to get red zone. I've been shout out to Streams East. Nobody clipped that, but been watching where I can for the other games. But yeah. Otherwise, obviously, watch both Packer games.
Yeah, I like when the Packers play at night or at 3:25 because I at least have the noon window to just follow my fantasy team or
Hmm.
teams, I should say. And so that's always nice. Is just you get the day to relax and then you stress-free football for a while and then you get to stress out during the Packer game. But we'll talk about the Packer game first. Very good bounce back. I was very pleased with it. I think we both predicted a win,
Hmm.
and I mean, neither one of us was freaking out over week 1. Obviously, it was disappointing. You weren't happy with it, but I mean, I think we all expected them to kind of bounce back and at least get the win pretty convincingly in this one, and that's what they did. The second half wasn't fantastic. I mean, they only put up 3 points, but they were up 24-7 at half. I mean, you pretty much knew it was over at half, and Rodgers was a lot better. Aaron Jones was spectacular again and just got more touches this week, which, they said in the press conferences after week 1 that they wanted to try to get him more work, which makes sense. I mean, when Aaron
Hmm.
Jones touches the ball, good things are going to happen. So we
Yeah.
kind of said that after that week 1 in that post game where we were like, why does Aaron Jones only have nine touches or whatever it was?
Hmm.
And comes out, has a fantastic game. Dylan was good. Receivers were pretty good. Defense showed up. Bad first drive for the defense, but after that, 3 points the whole game. After that, they really just locked down Justin Fields, who that Bears offense is not pretty.
No,
Dude, Justin Fields has 28 pass attempts on the season.
it's insane. I know. Obviously, it was down after the first week playing in the rain. I makes sense. But I mean, so how many completions does he have on the year? I think he had 8 week 1, and I don't know exactly what he had against us.
Against us, he had 11.
But
I don't even know. Might have even been less than that. And I mean, he has 28. He has 28 pass attempts. He's played full 2 games.
in 2 games.
Trey Lance has 31, who got hurt. Dak Prescott has 29, who got hurt. Cooper Rush has 44. Everyone else that's played 2 games has 53 plus. He's at 28.
That's crazy.
Joe Flacco has 103.
Joe Flacco's airing it out this
He's
year.
103. The next closest has 89. Like, that's just insane. They both played
103.
2 games, and they both played 2 games, full games. Justin Fields has 28 pass attempts. Flacco has 103. That is unbelievable to me. But any Bears guys on your fantasy team, I'm sorry. Cole Kmet has. I want to congratulate everyone listening to this for having as many catches as Cole Kmet has this season, and for having 4 more receiving yards than Darnell Mooney had on Sunday night. So congratulations to us and to the listeners and everyone for those amazing accomplishments. But dude, it's very ugly for the Bears offense. I think they have probably and this isn't just because I hate the Bears. I just think, skill position wise, they have the worst, like, talent wise team in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, their running backs aren't bad. Montgomery's pretty solid. And I like Herbert.
Montgomery did have a good game, yeah.
Yeah, and Herbert's a pretty good runner. But I mean, yeah, their receivers are just. I mean, Mooney and Komet were both like, oh, these are guys that breakout candidates this year. Justin Fields, gonna be throwing them a lot, and he's got 28 pass attempts, and
Yeah.
Cole Kmet hasn't had a single catch, and Mooney I think has like 2 or 3 catches on the year. It's like it's pretty crazy. It's funny though.
And they won that week 1 game. Fields completed, I want to say almost all of his completions were, basically right at the line of scrimmage. If not, and I get it, they were playing in, crazy weather, but it's like he just has not done anything down the field really so far this season. Just nothing to really make you say, wow, this guy's gonna be legit.
No.
Maybe he ends up being good. Again, you haven't seen it so far, but Packers defense, again, first drive was not good. It looked bad, and everyone was freaking out right away. Oh, this is supposed to be a top 5 defense, blah 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 blah, and they at least showed up the entire rest of the game. Quay Walker looks really good. Jair Alexander had a fantastic game, and Stokes played a lot better. Both of those corners played a lot better than they did in week one, and just overall the defense was definitely a lot better. And helps when you're not going against Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, big time. And heck of a pick by Jair Alexander too, flying across from the left side of the field. I don't know who he cut in front of there, but just and slid all the way out of bounds. That was a sick interception.
Now, one thing concerning is the run defense.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw it in the second half, a couple drives where Montgomery was killing us, and it just would be – there was a drive where I think they got all the way down the field without passing or without completing a single pass.
Yeah.
Just run after run after run, chunk play, chunk play, chunk play. Montgomery looked really good. And something to monitor moving forward. It's been a problem in the past for the Packers. I thought the defensive line was not great, at least the run defense. And again, something just to at least monitor, especially if we start going up against some really, really, really good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can hold up against him. Dalvin Cook, we just faced Dalvin Cook. He didn't do a ton against us, but they just had Justin Jefferson going off, so that was how they beat us that day. I'm just interested to see. We got Buccaneers coming up. That's Leonard Fournette. And then after that,
we might get 30 carries against us. He's carrying the ball a crap ton.
Yeah, he had 24 last week. He's just getting volume like crazy. We have Patriots, then we have Giants and Saquon, then the Jets, Commanders, Bills. We don't face many good running backs until Swift in the Lions, Zeke, Cowboys, and then Derrick Henry with the Titans. So we have a couple of them, but really, it's Saquon for the next month, but that's pretty much it. And so we should be okay for the time being. But again, just something to keep in mind, something to monitor a little bit with the defense. That was the one thing I was a little bit disappointed by. To the offense, as we already mentioned, Aaron Jones, just remarkable. What did he end up with? 15 for 132 on the ground and a touchdown, and then 3 for 38 through the air and a touchdown. He is the number one weapon on this offense. He's going to be the entire year. You just have to give him the ball.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, even if they're stopping the run, just find ways to get the ball in his hands. Throw those screen passes, do something, get him going, where you do that little flip pass and stuff like that. Just anything to get Aaron Jones the ball. There's no reason he should ever have less than, honestly, like 15 touches in any of these games, 13 to 15 touches. Even if they incorporate AJ Dillon and stuff, like he is the most explosive player on this offense.
Yeah, and like you said, even if he's not running the ball well, they got to find ways to just throw him the ball more passing wise, because there's times where they're just not really holes opening, or it just feels like he's not, he's just not hitting the gaps right. He's only getting a couple yards of carry. I feel like that happens a decent amount with him, just from game to game. Obviously last game it felt like he was just in the holes a lot. Then there'd be a game where it's like, he can't really get anything going. Getting him out in the open field, hit him for 2-3 yards and let him just run and juke guys, stiff arm, that's where he's at his best. So I feel like Packers just got to utilize him that way a little bit more.
Yeah, and again, the games he normally has those 8-touch games where you're just like, why did he only have 8 touches and blah blah blah. It's always when we get blown out, and it's you gotta get to a point where even when we're getting blown out, again, if you can't, even if they take away the run game, find ways to get him the ball.
Yeah,
you could be down 14 zip, 20 zip. I get you're gonna go away from the running game a little bit. That doesn't mean you have to go away from Aaron Jones. He is that's why you sign him to an extension. He's a weapon not only in the running game but in the passing game. And with Devontae Adams gone, he is your number one weapon on this offense, no doubt. Sammy Watkins, 3 for 93.
Yeah.
A couple big plays. Very good to see him step up. Definitely was better than I expected. I wasn't really expecting a ton from him. And a couple big plays, a 55-yarder in the fourth quarter. Lazard was quiet but had the touchdown. And then Cobb, Dobbs, pretty quiet but kind of had a couple plays when you needed him to. And that's kind of what Rodgers did the whole night. The Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon dominated the offense. They kind of had the chunk plays and everything, and were controlling the game. And then whenever you needed him to, Rodgers was making plays, made a couple big throws, and a couple touchdowns, and just he was Aaron Rodgers again.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said after the game, I like that it no Devontae makes him spread the ball out a little more, and it's just going to be a matter of playing more and more games together, guys stepping up. Hopefully Watkins can stay healthy. That's probably been his biggest downfall in the league so far is being able to play 15, 16 games. We're going to need out of him for sure. So, and I think hopefully Rodgers will start to use Cobb a little more. I know he's definitely not one of our top weapons, but I mean those 8, 9, 10 yard catches over the middle or um, a little slant stuff like that is big, and it just helps open up the offense too. So
And Rodgers definitely likes Watkins from listening to him in press conferences and stuff.
mhm.
He seems like someone who Rodgers is all about trust. We all know that.
Yeah,
He's all about if he thinks you're working hard, if you're a guy who's in the right spots when you need to be and doing what you need to do, he's going to trust you. He's going to throw you the ball more. Amari Rodgers, very few, I think he only had like one snap on as a receiver. Rodgers apparently does, he doesn't sound like he likes him very much. Just according to some press conferences, it's like I heard that there was a press conference. They asked him, oh, what about Amari Rodgers? And he just said, oh yeah, he's returning for us now, and that was like it. And he just kind of left it at that. And so you just got this sense like something's probably going on in practice or something where Rodgers is not the biggest fan of his, and that's not the place you want to be. So, yeah, again, something to just kind of monitor. This whole receiver situation is going to be interesting to watch the whole season as far as who's getting the targets, and it'll probably be some different guys stepping up. Tunyon will have a big game, I'm sure, at some point, and get some, start getting some touchdowns, and this other guy, what Watkins did for 93 yards might be Dobbs, or and
yeah,
Lazard's going to obviously have some big games, or at least have to have some big games if we're going to go anywhere this year. So definitely will be fun to watch. But it was for sure very good to see a a Packers offense that looks like the Packers offense again. So
yeah.
but we all expected it. Another guy, really quick to shout out, Preston Smith was awesome
Yes, he had a great
on
game.
defense. So he that was one of his best games as a Packer, I think.
Yeah, he was
So,
in the backfield a lot. Obviously, getting after the quarterback. Just every time they were kind of showing, like a good play on defense, it felt like he was around the play.
both running games, man. Just looking at these stats, I mean, Montgomery was 15 for 122. That's 8 yards a carry.
Jeez, I didn't know he had that many yards.
Jones was 15 for 132, 8.8 yards a carry. Khalil Herbert 4 for 38, 9.5 yards a carry. Like the running games could not be stopped, and
No.
it was just that our passing game was 100 times better than theirs. Justin Fields had a 6.7 QBR out of 100.
6.7?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I didn't even
Out of
know.
100, so that is not the best.
Jeez.
I mean, just looking at their receiving stats, EQ, Equinemius St. Brown, 2 for 39. That was their leading receiver. Ryan Griffin was second with one catch for 18 yards. David Montgomery, third, 2 for 14. Khalil Herbert, 1 for 3. Cole Kmet, 0 for 0. Darnell Mooney, 1 for -4. That is disgusting.
That's tough. That's tough.
All right. So Packers have the Buccaneers next. Mike Evans
hmm
is, as of right now, suspended. I heard he's appealing it or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, and I'm guessing he's not going to be able to come back. I'm guessing he'll be suspended. I feel pretty good about this game. I don't know about you. I think, again, it being week 3, you feel like the Packers are hitting their stride a little bit. I know it's in Tampa. I know Rodgers has historically been bad. I did pick us to lose this preseason, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. I know he's been bad in Florida, but I don't know. I feel good about it. The Buccaneers have not impressed me.
Mm-mm.
Brady looks definitely, and it's not a criticism of Brady. It's just he's older. He can't move as well. He's going to get sacked more. He's not going to be able to do as much. If you can get pressure on him, you're going to be able to beat that team.
Yeah.
And I don't think Leonard Fournette. I like Leonard Fournette. I have on my fantasy team. I don't think he's going to beat you. Even if he has some holes and stuff. I don't see Leonard Fournette being the difference maker in the game. it'll be whether or not we can get to Tom Brady, whether or not we can make him uncomfortable. That's how it's going to be for Brady's pretty much rest of his career is just, and it has been for a couple of years. It's just, how much pressure can you get on him because that's what's going to throw him off because he can't move very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely feels like maybe he's showing a little age, and I haven't got to watch a ton, but just from what I've been seeing and hearing, and they're not scoring that much. I think they had 19 in the first game and then 20 last game.
Mhm.
And do you know if Chris Godwin's going to be playing? I know he was out last week.
So he was out last week. They're not sure this week. They might if Evans is out, I would guess maybe he might force himself back a little bit. Maybe if he's close to playing, he'll just play because with Evans out and it being a better opponent, he might be more inclined to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, we don't know yet.
I mean, because that would obviously be another big thing. If him and Evans are out, that's a huge blow. I'm taking a look at the betting line, not like it matters a ton, but Tampa Bay opened at 3 and it's already down to 1.5. So a lot of people like the Packers in this game.
Tampa's favored.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me a little bit, but I guess just if it depends on who's at home. I mean, if the Packers were at home, I'm sure we'd be a 1.5 favorite. So
I was gonna say with it being at Tampa, I mean, yeah, they're 19-3 against Dallas and 20-10 against New Orleans last week.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll talk about some other NFL Week 2 stuff. Teams to potentially panic on. You're gonna tell me if you're ready to panic.
Okay.
The obvious one, the Bengals.
I'm gonna say I'm not panicking yet, just because they have so many weapons on offense. But they're 1 or 2 bad games away from that, like a definite panic. To me, it's really in the middle. Like, yeah, wow, bad start. I don't understand how they didn't get back week 2. They just played the Cowboys, right? Cooper Rush starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget who they got this week. Maybe Cleveland.
It's the Jets.
Jets. Yeah, I mean that's 100% panic meter if they lose this week to Joe Flacco.
Yeah, they've lost to Mitch Trubisky and Cooper Rush so
far. I mean it's very close. I trust their weapons kind of, but then again they haven't done it the first 2 weeks, so.
It really is all the O-line, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Burrow has no time. 13 sacks in the first 2 games is absurd. I think it was 7 week 1 and 6 last week, or maybe it was the other way around. Yeah. But it's just crazy. This supposed to be revamped offensive line. The Mixon doesn't have much room to run. Burrow's getting sacked all the time, and it's like you have all these weapons, but you can't do much when your offensive line sucks. That's the whole difference. I was very confident in the Bengals because that's what I thought. I'm like, their offensive line's a lot better, and that's kind of been the one bugaboo for them is their offensive line. Mm-hmm. That's a lot better, and that's going to really just take it in even the next level, even though they just made a Super Bowl, but it is not looking good so far. I'm not panicking yet because it's hard for me to I still like Burrow. I like Chase. I like Mixon. I like Higgins. I like the defense even. I'm not panicking yet. I mean, their schedule coming up, Jets, but then it's Dolphins, Ravens, Saints. And it's Dolphins at home, at Ravens, at Saints. I mean, I feel like they got to win like 3 of these next 4,
Yeah, and I could definitely see 2-2 there, which obviously puts you at 2-4.
And that's just not a place you want to be in.
No.
So it's going to get dicey, but we will see with them. I mean, after that though, then they got Falcons, Browns, Panthers, Steelers, Titans. And I mean, those are all pretty winnable games.
Those are all winnable games.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not panicking yet though. Next team on the list, they are 1-1, but the Denver Broncos. I don't know if you've watched them much, but ugly win against the Texans this week at home and lost to the Seahawks last week in Russell Wilson's return. Russ has looked really, really bad. The coaching's terrible, dude. Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know what this guy's doing.
That's my biggest panic is the coaching. Even though Russ hasn't looked great, like you said, I think he, 2 weeks in with the new team, And I know he hasn't been great with Seattle the past 2 years, so I'm not just trying to back him up here because the same way you are, I'm not a huge Russell Wilson guy, but they have the offensive talent. Defense has kind of been there. And you know, Texans maybe sneaky, not as bad as people thought, and that was a tough everyone thinks it's Russell Wilson's revenge game, but to have to play in that environment, everyone booing you coming back to Seattle, it's a tough game. So I mean, I'm more panicking on new head coach.
I'm definitely more panicked on the Broncos than the Bengals. It just I don't know. And part of it is I had very high expectation for the Broncos,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought they'd look so much better, dude.
Yeah.
And I know they just lost Judy,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't help. But like I don't know. Russ is definitely dropping down my quarterback rankings pretty quickly, and he's gonna have to earn his spot back because has not looked good. I love Javonte Williams, but they don't give him the ball a ton. They've sucked near the goal line. They have they're taking I don't know if you watched. Did you watch any of the game on Sunday?
I didn't watch their game this week. No.
There was a point where they were lining up so it's like 4th and 1 at the 35, and they're like about to go for it, and Hackett's like, no, never mind. As they're about to kind of go for it, no, never mind. He sends out the field goal unit. Well, they took so long to decide that the play clock's running out. They end up getting a delay of game, pushes them back 5, and so they're trying to kick a field goal. No, delay of game, pushes them back 5 yards. They end up just sending out the punting unit. And it's like, Jesus. And they had 2 other delay of game penalties on top of having to use 2 timeouts to prevent delay of game penalties. There were just so many times where it's like unfathomably the Packers do it all the time and it's not like that. Like the Packers just take a while to call plays sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
And that's frustrating, but like this was just it'd be like a 4th down decision and they just don't know what they're doing. And then it's like all of a sudden you look up in the play clock and timeout or no delay a game. And it's like it was a mess. And the fans were booing them. I'm like, this is crazy, but I definitely am pretty panicked on them. Next team, Raiders, 0-2. Losses to the Chargers and the Cardinals. Cardinals had a huge comeback from down 20-0. That game was nuts. Carr does not look very good. Are you panicked on them at all?
I'm not going to panic because that first game was obviously a very tough divisional game. Didn't really expect them to win that one. Last week was just a terrible loss, and you assume they bounce back from it. So I'm not panicking yet.
Yeah, I'm not freaking out. I think they'll be okay. Carr needs to play a little bit better though. The Titans.
Panic. They are not good. They have Derrick Henry, who's very mediocre nowadays. They are not good.
They are not. Losses to the Giants and the Bills they lost by 100. The defense is not good. The line isn't very good. Tannehill looks bad. Henry doesn't look as good. I'm out on the Titans. And I wasn't big on them this year anyways, but
no.
I thought middle of the pack, and now I'm thinking even, a little bit below middle of the pack. So definitely, I think panic on them. And one team that I'm going to ask, do you think they are for real? The one surprise 2-0 team, the New York Giants.
No, they are not for real. Devin, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Your Giants are not for real.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the Giants suck. I think
no.
I want to say I picked them to win 5 or 6 games this year. Like
I at 4.
I think they'll be fine. It's just they're not I don't think they're going to contend to win this division. I think this is the Eagles' division for sure. I think even the Cowboys, even Cooper Rush, I think are better than the Giants, and they play this week. I'm probably going to pick the Cowboys in that game, but yeah, I mean, they've beaten the Titans and the Panthers barely. The Titans, they had to come back to win. The Panthers, it was a close game the entire time, and the Panthers aren't good. So they have the Cowboys and the Bears at home before coming to Lambeau in week 5. So there's a decent chance they're 4-0 when they play us, but then I'm guessing it will be a big wake-up call for that game. But I do think the Cowboys beat them, and maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe even the Bears do, but I'm not a huge believer in them. I like Saquon. I don't hate them, but they're definitely not anything legit.
So
go ahead.
Since you bring them up, what's your opinion on the Eagles? Are they the best or one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NFC, I know you and I both talked about them, both high on them. I think both of us had them winning their division, which isn't really saying much this year just because, it's like, oh, we had them and the Cowboys, and we both had the Cowboys like 9-8 ish.
But
But their offense looks really good.
so I think I had them at 10 or 11 wins this year, winning the division, and I'm sticking right to that. I tweeted yesterday, and people kind of got mad at this, but they feel like a team, and I know it's only week 2, and I'm not saying I want this to happen at all. They feel like a team. I just was watching them. I'm like, they feel like a team that the Packers will lose to in the playoffs this year.
I did see that tweet, and I can see it just with how quick and explosive their offense is, and
Especially if you have to go to Philly, because that's a
yeah,
hostile
place.
environment. That's a good crowd.
Mhm.
You get behind there, it could be hard to come back. It's a running quarterback, and I like even his passing game. I like their weapons. Their running game isn't bad. Their defense is good. Like they're just very balanced. It's hard to find one big thing to exploit. And am I sitting there saying, oh, they're way better than the Packers? No, I'm just saying it just gives me a feeling like I could just see this being a team that kind of gives us fits if we have to play them or just makes a little bit of a run. I do like them though so far through 2 weeks. They're going to go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. So
I was gonna mention I really like Jalen. I mean, I like Jalen Hurts. I have him on my fantasy team. That's not necessarily why I like him, but he's shown a lot of growth this year, but still only one passing touchdown. So that's my question with them is he has a lot of guys getting open. Sometimes the stats don't really tell the story. Like he's obviously got his 3 rushing touchdowns. Um, but I mean, the weapons are there on offense, so he's looked a lot better passing wise, but obviously struggled in the playoffs last year, first time in the playoffs for him. So I mean, to me, that gets a pass. So we'll see as the season progresses how he continues to look. But yeah, they look like pretty much the team to beat in the NFC, other than us and I mean, I guess the Rams who played a tight one last week. So.
yeah, the NFC is wide open. I've been seeing this for a long time. It's just if
Mhm.
we were in the AFC, I'm sitting there thinking, man, we got to deal with Chiefs, Chargers, Bills. I know that Broncos and Bengals aren't looking good, but like they have good
No.
quarterbacks, and you never know with them. Ravens, like there's so many teams that I just be like, one of those teams is going to beat us. It's going to be hard for us to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
NFC, it's like, I mean, the Buccaneers are pretty good. The Niners are okay.
Yeah.
The Rams are okay, not that good. Like, there's just not teams that you're like super afraid of, and it kind of leaves the door wide open, especially if we have arguably the best quarterback in the game. But real quick, I'm gonna ask you to. We talk about Jalen Hurts.
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you Jalen Hurts and a few quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts or Tua.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts, and let me just say this quick. I love that you asked this because I was also gonna ask after talking about the Eagles, him or another quarterback. I'm gonna wait till you say that quarterback to ask him who you have, but
We'll
I'm gonna
see if
go.
I'm not even sure I'll see him, but yeah.
Okay.
So I'm taking Hurts over Tua. That Tua was awesome on Sunday. That was an insane game. Tyreek and Waddle just going insane and coming back to beat the Ravens, who Lamar looked fantastic as well. Just a very exciting, entertaining game. I'm not completely sold on Tua.
No.
I don't think I think he's good. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh my God, he had 1 6 touchdown game, so I'm gonna think he's a top 6 7 quarterback. So I'm taking Hurts. I think Hurts will be a little bit more consistent. Hurts or Russell Wilson.
Right now, I'm definitely going Jalen Hurts.
Hurts or Stafford.
That's a tough one. I don't want to just jump on the Hurts train, especially because he's got a pretty good receiving core. I think I'll go Stafford, not by much.
Hurts. I'm thinking Hurts there. Hurts or Stafford has been a little careless with the ball. He has too many picks.
Yeah.
Hurts or um Burrow.
I gotta give Burrow the benefit of the doubt with that old line.
Yeah, again
Or-
if things were if situations were equal, I think if situation were equal, I'd say Hurts. Or yeah, Hurts. Or I mean Burrow's probably better. Hurts or Kyler?
Hurts because he cares more.
I think to me, Hurts, Kyler, man, Hurts, Kyler, and like even Russ are all kind of in the same tier to me. And I don't know. I kind of want to take Hurts and Kyler. I want to take the young guns a little bit, but they're all in a similar tier to me. Who are you going to ask, Hurts or who?
My question now, maybe this is a bit of a reach, and I think there's a case though. Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson.
So that was on my list, but I going into the year I wasn't a big Lamar guy. I like what I've seen though, and I need to see in the playoffs, but we need to see what in the playoffs with Hurts too, because Lamar's had a couple stinkers in the playoffs. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Lamar.
I agree. I feel like Hurts isn't that far off though, and that's why I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, I don't think it's insane to be like, I think right now to say right at this second Hurts is better. I think that's pretty crazy. But like, if you're like, you know what, I think in a couple years Hurts could be right there with them. Like, even next year, like, I'm not. That's not crazy to me.
He's turning into a smarter runner, if that makes sense. Like I saw him slide a couple times last night, and he knows when to run. He knows when to step up in the pocket, take off up the middle. And what was the one other thing? I need to watch Lamar throw a little bit more, but I've never been big on just Lamar's arm, And I know he's known for his running, and it's not great already, but that's the one thing I think hurts his arm has improved a lot.
Now that's what's always been my gripe with Lamar. I just have never been like I always have been like I don't think he's a fantastic thrower. Like I think he's good for fantasy. He'll put up good stats. He'll look great because he has 100 and something rushing yards and 200 something passing yards. But I'm like I don't think he makes a ton of impressive throws. He's been pretty good though through 2 weeks. Like I've seen him throw some dimes. So again, I'm not gonna be biased with like I didn't like him coming in. So blah, blah, blah. Like I'm willing to change my opinion on him a little bit, and I would definitely move him up into my top 6-ish, 7-ish. And Hurts is right around there too. So, all right. That pretty much does it, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
I have a NFL to NBA player comp. I want you to let me know what you think of this. For some reason, I was watching Kyler Murray, and I'm like, he feels like the Trae Young of the NBA or of the NFL. I don't know
I could see. Like he feels like someone who, yes, they're number one, he's short. Number two, he's electric. Number three, he's gonna put up some great stats. And number four, you're probably never gonna win with him.
And number five, when he's bad, he's hurting your whole team very bad.
Yeah, that's a very good count. I love it.
Yeah. I had to throw it out there to see what you thought. We might have to do that a little more often, but he kind of, it's just like, and that's my thing with the Cardinals. I mean, crazy comeback this week, but.
And either one, I'm not, I don't dislike either one of them. I think they're both good. I think they're both, again, they're electric players, and they're going to they put up good numbers. When they're on, they're on. And Trae Young will have 50-point games. Kyler, when he got hot, he comes back from 20 down, and it's just like you can't even stop him because he's just running around out there doing whatever he wants. And like you said, when they're off, they're very bad, and they're really just a detriment to your team. And I think in the long run, it's just they're hard to win with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Good comp to end the show here. That does it for us. We will have probably another episode out later this week to talk maybe more extensively Bucks, Packers, and potentially if any Bucks news comes out or as we get closer to Bucks season, we'll have some more stuff coming out with that. 1 month, Brandon, until Bucks Sixers.
Yeah, shoot, that's right. It's the 20th.
So we have basically 4 weeks until the Milwaukee Bucks are back and life has meaning again. So that'll do it for us. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys next time.